Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Chill Survival series. Today we are going to build a mining outpost so we can safely gather ores and hopefully find some diamonds to further upgrade our gear. And it looks like a new day has just begun, so let's get started. So before we begin on our mining outpost, I think we should pay a quick visit to our farmland. I'm still running a little bit low on food because we don't have enough cows yet for them to be a good food supply. So in the meantime, we're just going to collect as much wheat as we can so we can feed them and then make some bread for ourselves. And of course, let's just get all of our seeds replanted. And since we have so many seeds left over, we might as well expand our farmland a little bit more. We'll toss in our seeds up here. And the rest can go into our bone meal machine. Alright, this is all replanted and looking good, so let's go pay a visit to our cows so we can feed them. Good morning, sheep. And good morning to you cows as well. Alright, let's get you all fed. There you go. Some for you, some for you. There, I think that's good. So let's just leave some wheat here for the next time we feed them, and the rest I'm gonna craft into bread for myself. That should hold us over for food until we get more cows. Now I love this barn that we built, and I think it looks great. However, it's not really connected to anything at our base at the moment, which makes it feel a little bit out of place. So before we head into the mines, I think I'm just gonna lay down some paths to connect our areas together a bit more. Even connecting things with a simple dirt path really helps make it feel more like a base rather than builds just placed randomly. Alright, so we're connected from our barn to our wheat field. The next path I'm gonna lay out is one from our barn to our house through this little patch of forest over here. I noticed that when I was building this barn, I would constantly run back to the house through here when I needed extra supplies. So I figured a path here would be really convenient because I know I take this shortcut a lot. There, and that one's all done. And now the last one left is to connect our house to our other part of the farmland. The shovel broke, but everything's pretty much loosely connected together now. It all kind of connects in a circular shape, which is perfect, so we can run around the base and always have a path to walk on. Now we're gonna have to decorate it and make it look a little bit nicer later on, but I think that these roughed out dirt paths will do for now. So now that we've got some general base maintenance done, I think it's time for us to move on to our bigger task, which is the mining outpost. So I figured the best place to put this thing would be near the cave entrance that we've already been using. I think this carved out mountain that we have behind us is the perfect backdrop to have for our mining outpost. So in this spot you can see we're really close to our home, you can see the chimneys right there, and we're also really close to this entrance we've been using for this cave. Now we are going to be using elevators to access the strip mines going forward, but it's nice that we're so close to the original caves that we explored to gather our materials. So I think I'm going to start by clearing out some of these trees so we can get a better idea of what this area looks like. And finally, the last thing we need to do is flatten some of this terrain because it's a little bit uneven at the moment, and there's not quite enough space to fit our mining outpost yet. We'll add some dirt here to widen out this area. Patch up some of these holes. There! Now that the area is all cleared out and the terrain is leveled, we can see the spot we chose more clearly, and I think it's perfect. So we are actually going to have to head back down into the caves for some materials in order to build this. But before we head back in there, I'm going to rough out the layout of this build so we have an idea of how it's going to look in this space. There, I think that placement is looking pretty good. I might end up shifting it over to the left a tiny bit when I start building it, just so we have a little bit more space in case I want to build a path up into that cave area over there. But other than that, I think it's perfect. And it looks like the sun is setting, so let's head back home, put everything away, and rest on up for our big adventure tomorrow. It's a brand new day, and I thought I would start things off by tending to our animals this morning. Good morning, cows. Hope you're all doing well. Let's get you all fed for the day. And it looks like they're all fed and good to go. Alright, our farm chores are done, so now it's time to head into our big project for the day. So the first thing that we're going to have to do to get this build started is head into the caves. I want to build the roof out of copper, so I figured we could gather some up and get it oxidizing while we work on the rest of the structure. The last time we were in this cave, I noticed tons of copper veins, so we should be able to gather up quite a bit. It also wouldn't hurt to grab some extra coal and iron if we see any. Alright, let's head down this waterfall into the main part of the cave. Oh, there is a creeper on a pillar. I hope you're enjoying the view up there, bud. Please just don't drop down on me. Alright, I've already spotted tons of copper, so let's start gathering this up. I think I grabbed pretty much everything I saw on this level, so let's head up this waterfall. My tools are starting to wear out, so I'm just gonna grab everything I can until my picks break. I also found some iron that I had missed before, which is perfect because we can never have too much. And with our last broken pickaxe, I think that means it's time for us to head back up. I think we've gathered more than enough copper, which is great because we'll definitely need it for future builds. I'm more than happy with what we've gathered, so let's get ourselves back home. I'm gonna start things off by burning up all of this raw copper in our furnaces. And let's get some burning in our outdoor furnaces as well. Oh, I thought I heard something over here. Bye-bye. So while we're waiting for that copper to burn, let's cut down some of these spruce trees because we're gonna need quite a bit for our build today. A stack and a bit should be good because I'm pretty sure we have some left over from the last build that we did. Yeah, we still have around 3 stacks. That should be more than enough. Alright, we've got most of our other materials sorted, so let's check up on this copper. It takes quite a few bars to make a block of it, so we're just gonna burn as much as we can. We've got quite a bit to start with, which is good though, because I want to get these placed in a field so they can begin oxidizing while we build up the rest of this outpost. So with all of this, we have 13 blocks to start with. And this open area over here looks like the perfect place to pop these down. I want the outpost to look a little bit more run down and old, so it's nice to get different levels of oxidization on the copper blocks. But in order to get the different levels of wear on the blocks to actually stay, we're gonna need to get some beeswax. And luckily we're in a flower forest, so we have tons of nests around us. So let's just pop down a campfire so the bees don't get angry at us when we collect the wax. And we've got an extra campfire, so we might as well place one more down right here. The bees are hanging out in their nests, so I think we should be fine to shear it without getting attacked. Perfect, we got the honeycomb that we needed. Alright, I think we're pretty much good with all of the materials we need, so let's head back to the house to gather everything up so we can begin building. So I've collected most of the stuff we're going to need to build the outpost, and I'm just going to place it in a chest close by. There we go. I also managed to make a couple extra blocks of copper, so let's get those placed down as well. Some of this has already started oxidizing. That was honestly a lot faster than I anticipated. We're gonna need a variety of oxidization stages for this roof, so let's get some different types waxed. So we only got 4 to start, but honestly that's not bad. Alright, with all of the prep work done, I think we're ready to begin building this thing. So I'm just gonna get rid of this rough footprint that we had here. And I think I'm gonna build over by a couple blocks to the left. And I'm gonna start the build by using barrels as the base of our beams, and going up to a total of 3 blocks high with stripped spruce. Next I'm gonna fill in the walls with a mix of stripped oak and oak planks. The base is looking very short right now, but that's because the roof is going to be a lot taller on this build. It's all going to even itself out in the end though. So to give this roof a ton of height so it's the main focal point, we're going to use a combination of stairs and stripped spruce logs. Now because this is a square shape, we're going to build this roof design on every single side. So with this frame in place, you can see how the steep roof has balanced the height of this build, making it a lot more even. Now that this roof shape is in place, we can finish filling in our walls with oak. We'll get all of this stripped really quickly. And I think this is looking really good so far. So let's shear these nests again for a little bit more honeycomb, and let's wax a couple more of these blocks so we can start building up our roof. Now if we use a stone cutter, each copper block will give us 4 cut copper blocks. We're gonna need some full-size blocks and some stairs for this roof, so we're gonna grab a bit of both. And I think that should be enough to get us started. So to achieve a weathered look on this roof, we're going to make a gradient with the copper going from less weathered at the bottom to becoming more weathered and blue as the roof goes up. And this is what it looks like all filled in. I placed a couple blocks at the top that weren't waxed, so they might oxidize and turn a bit more blue, but that's okay. As long as the blue is at the top part of the build for the gradient, we're all good. So the next thing I'm going to do for this build is I'm going to make a lookout tower. I wanted to give this build a little bit more height, and I thought having a tower that we could actually climb up and use would be really cool. I think that's the perfect height for the base of this thing, so let's strip all of this oak wood so it doesn't look like a tree stump. Now that we have the tower in place, we need a platform to stand on. I'm going to extend the base out by 1 block on every side using slabs and trapdoors, just to give ourselves a little bit more space to walk on. Then let's just toss some barrels in each corner with oak trapdoors in between to use as railings. Next we're going to place some spruce fences on top of the barrels so we can make a roof for this lookout. And then we'll connect these posts together using some spruce gates. Now I don't want this roof to be too steep, so I'm gonna use spruce slabs for a gradual incline. Then we'll just fill this on in with some oak and some spruce at the top. And finally, let's put in a little post on the top of this thing. Wow, the view from up here is actually really nice. I can't wait until we have so many more builds in this area. It's gonna look so cool. Now that we know we have a good view from up here, I'm curious to see how the tower actually looks from the ground. Yeah, that's looking really cool so far. It's a bit of a different shape, but I love it. So the next thing that we need to do is get some doors and some windows in on this thing. We'll pop a spruce door here, and let's use a spruce fence for the window. Yeah, that's looking good. To finish off the door, I'm just gonna place a simple awning made of spruce and granite. And then I'm gonna throw up a decorative trim to connect the roof here. Just quickly gonna swap this one out for a slab. There we go. Oh, it looks like the sun is setting, so let's head to bed really quickly and we'll continue in the morning. We're gonna have a lot of detailing to do, but first there's a couple more things that we need to add to the structure. I'm gonna start by making a simple overhang on this side. I think I'm gonna use this space as a general bulk storage area for ores and stones that we collect from the mines. I'm just gonna place some trapdoors along the edges here to widen out the overhang a little bit more. That means we can also move these fence posts over and put them underneath the trapdoors as well. There, I think that's the perfect little area that we can throw some bulk storage in later. So next I'm gonna build out another open area on the other side for a small forge. The shape is pretty much going to be the same as the other side, but I'm going to use actual beams instead of fencing for the structure because I would imagine an open forge like this would need to be a little bit more sturdy. I also find that if you're making two similar types of structures within a build, it's good to change them up a bit so they complement each other rather than looking exactly the same. Alright, so the structure is pretty much done, but you may have noticed that I haven't filled in this part of the roof yet. Since this is a mining outpost, I really want to incorporate some materials from the mines. And deep slate is the first block that pops into my head. But since it's so far down, I think it would make the most sense to make our elevator to our strip mine first, and then finish the rest after. Now we haven't gone into the nether yet, which means we don't have soul sand to make ourselves a proper bubble elevator. So in the meantime, we're just gonna have to make a ton of ladders and use that to slowly climb back up to the surface when we need to get out of the mines. It's annoying, but hey, it works. Alright, I think it's time for us to start digging down. This might take a while. So I've been digging down for quite some time and I finally managed to hit deep slate. I'm really excited about that because that means we're getting close to the bottom. I'm not even done digging this out and we found our first diamonds. Yes, I'm so excited. Finding your first diamond in a new Minecraft world always feels so special. I feel like we're gonna have to frame that one when we get home because it's the first one we ever found. Oh! And I spoke too soon. I can't believe we've already found more. I feel like this is very lucky. So we've got a total of 4 so far. I'm hoping we have this much luck when we actually start our strip mines. You've got to be joking. More? You know, at the rate we're going, we're not even going to need a strip mine by the time we finish digging down. There is bedrock here though, which actually means we've hit the bottom. So now we can start digging out a space for a strip mine. I'm just gonna place some water down right here so we can safely and easily jump down here whenever we need to. The only thing that sucks is, well, we have the long climb back up with the ladders. But hey, that's a problem for future us, so we don't have to worry about that right now. Alright, let's start things out by clearing out a space for us to have a workspace and some storage. I barely started digging this out. Oh my gosh. I'm getting so lucky today. So I carved out a nice little space for us to have a workstation here. So let's pop down a crafting table and let's throw down some big chests to store all of our materials. Now let's get our stuff organized. It's a little bit dark in here, so let's get some light going. Lastly, I'm gonna pop down a furnace to burn some iron because we're gonna need quite a few pickaxes. Alright, our workstation is all set up, so let's start digging out a tunnel so we can get a strip mine started. It can be kind of slow and painful to do this stuff when you don't have the enchanted tools, but there's also something about this kind of task that can be really relaxing too. Usually when I'm doing a long mining session like this, I like to just put on some music or a podcast and just vibe out. And then before you know it, time has gone by and you're pretty much done with your task. Alright, I think this should be more than enough corridors to start our strip mining. So let's just begin right here. Corridor number 1, here we go. Got some. Ooh, this is a big vein. Nice. So that is 8. And we've got ourselves another batch. These have been pretty good clusters too. More! Yes! Even more! Let's go. That was like one extra one off to the side. All right, so I have 25 diamonds so far, and I haven't really had much luck finding any others for a while. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my first diamond pick and start using that because I've burned through quite a few iron tools. That leaves us with 22 diamonds left. So that means we only need 2 more diamonds to get a full set of diamond armor as well. I mean, we've already gone this far, so we might as well, right? And immediately I found some. I was mining for like 35 minutes trying to find more, and I found them right away. As soon as we got this pickaxe. This one's pretty lucky, it feels like. And we didn't only get 2, we got 6 more. So I think we have more than enough. We can finally head back up. So let's grab all of these, and we'll bring up some of this stuff as well. And of course, we can't forget some extra stacks of deep slate because that's what we came down here for as well. So let's take our very, very long ladder back up to the surface and let's make ourselves some diamond armor. It feels good to be back up on the surface again. I missed our home, even if I was just underneath it the whole time. So finally we can get rid of this stinky iron armor. And now let's start making a helmet, our chest plate, some pants, and some boots. All right, let's suit up. And would you look at that, we have full diamond armor. I mean, you can't see it on me because we have the invisible armor mod on, but at least we know we're fully suited up now. We have 4 diamonds left over, and I don't know what to do with them. I feel like maybe our best bet would be a sword, because we're gonna have to make a trip to the Nether soon, which means we're gonna need some proper protection and gear. Alright, so now that all of that stuff is done, we can finish decorating our build. Let's start by cutting up all this deep slate we got from the mines and finish up the roof of the forge. Perfect, that's looking great. Next, I want to change up the ground of the forge. I want some regular stone mixed with cobble, but I just realized that we're all out of coal in order for us to make that. Luckily, we have tons on the surface level of this cave, so it's easy for us to collect. Whoa, what the heck? I've never noticed this cave entrance before. Huh? Well, it looks like there's way more to explore under our feet than I realized. There's lots of iron down here too. Uh-oh. I'm definitely happy I made this sword. Oh my gosh. There's a piece of a mine shaft there. Oh, oh, I should probably be careful. Honestly, there's so much stuff down here. Oh my gosh. This is a huge cave. Okay, I'm just grabbing a little bit more of the iron that I see, and now we're heading out, I promise. We're definitely gonna have to come back here another time though, because this cave looks like it has a lot in it. And honestly, maybe I'll have some luck finding a spawner of some sort, because we really need one of those too. All right, let's quickly head to bed for the night so we don't spawn any mobs. So now that we have our coal that we needed, let's pop a furnace down to make some stone. And while that's burning, I'm gonna start getting rid of all of this grass that needs to be replaced. All right, now that it's all cleared out, let's start getting this ground put in. Oh no. Oh, that's a big group. Oh my gosh. Oh, they're all shooting each other. Just gonna let them, oh no, they're charging at me. What is happening? This is supposed to be a peaceful world. Stop it. Oh, they're really fast. Why are they so fast? I've never seen them run like this before. Oh my gosh. Okay, I got one. Bye. 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 And you're the last one. Oh, that was really scary. All right, we're gonna need some milk to get rid of this bad omen. Thank you very much. There we go. Much better. And I'm sorry, cows, but I think it's finally time. I do need some food. All right, 14 should be enough for us. I would keep going with the bread, but honestly, the saturation on bread just doesn't cut it. There we go, so much better. All right, let's get back to our work that we were so rudely interrupted from. The ground of our outpost is going to primarily be made of cobble and stone, but I'm also going to mix in some tuff in this area to make it look a little bit more weathered and worn. I figured an area where you're smelting to make tools and stuff would be a little bit more dirty. Let's also fill in the edges with some coarse dirt so it blends into the grass more. Alright, I got the footprint around the build all done, and I think it's looking really good. Definitely needs to be roughed up a little bit more with some grass and some leaves and stuff, but overall this is a good start. So I think the next thing that we should make is our fire pit. And let's make this thing out of deep slate so it complements the roof. And I think since this is more of an industrial build, having a double chimney would be really cool. Alright, the fire pit's in place, and it's looking kind of sad on its own, so we definitely need some more stuff around it. This is really expensive and gonna use all the iron that I have, but I feel like an anvil is only necessary for this type of space. Plus, we'll definitely be getting use out of it later down the line anyway. So let's pop in some tables around it, We'll toss in some trim up above. And let's throw down a little grindstone right here. And we'll throw down a campfire with a trapdoor, so it's a little work seat. And I'm gonna place a little storage containment right here made of trapdoors. And we can just pop a double chest in here. I feel like this area is a little bit too flat, so I'm gonna switch up the shape by making a unit out of a crafting bench and some barrels. There. I feel like that looks a lot more interesting, and honestly more like a workspace rather than just a long table. Now we are missing a key component, which is lanterns, because I don't have enough to make them right now. But whenever we get enough iron, we are definitely going to be placing those all around our base. Alright, let's continue decorating this by placing some greenery. I really love the way that birch leaves look on this build. The color of them is a little bit more muted, and I think that really complements the oak and copper in this build. I'm also going to place down some rose bushes because I think they complement the color of the birch leaves really well. So the final part of the exterior that we need to do is the bulk storage. Now unfortunately I don't have all the blocks that I wanted to put here just yet because some of them require silk touch. Like I wanted some iron and coal blocks to place in the pile. But until we can get those, we can just place some other materials down that we would also find in the mines. So we can toss down some things like deep slate, granite, and some stone. So it's nothing too fancy at the moment, but once we get the right blocks, I think it'll work even better. But for now, I think it still gets the point across that this is a bulk storage area where all of the ores and materials coming from the mines are coming all the way back up here, and this is where we're storing it. And then on the other side, this is where we're doing all of our work with all of the materials. So the last thing I'm going to do for the outside is place down some fencing and bring back some greenery. I'm also going to add in a couple of small custom trees made out of fencing and birch leaves. And I'm going to toss in a couple of custom rock piles as well. Lastly, I'm going to bone meal some of the grass and replant some of the trees as well. We took away quite a bit of the greenery when we were flattening the land earlier, so I think we need to bring some of that back. Yeah, I think the detailing has really helped make this build come together. It's looking so good right now. I find that one of the most important steps is bringing back all of the life and greenery that you kind of took away when you were flattening the land previously. Before I bone mealed this grass, added in this fencing and these leaves and stuff like that, it kind of looked a little bit too bare and out of place. But now that it's kind of embedded into the landscape again, it's looking really good. So the last thing that we really need to worry about is, the interior. It's looking pretty sad right now, isn't it? But hey, it can be fixed. First things first, we gotta get a floor in here. And we'll just keep it nice and simple with some spruce wood. Next, I'm gonna fill in the ceiling because it's kind of a hot mess. And I'm gonna leave an opening here because I wanna actually be able to access our watchtower. I'm gonna use some trapdoors to attach ladders to because it will free up a ton of space for us. And we'll just make our way to the top. So now we can access this tower and actually use it when we wanna see a nice view of our base. Alright, next I'm gonna make a small barrier wall to avoid accidentally falling down the mine. Having these trapdoors here also separate the room a little bit more too. And it's still really easy for us to jump down or ladder up when we need to. Now we already have most of our important items outside at the forge, so I think I'm going to keep this space really simple. I'll just toss down some of the essentials, place down some greenery, and since we don't have any lanterns at the moment, I figured it would be cool if we lit this place up with glowberries. So I just added in a little bit of artwork and some item frames with some mining tools in them, and I really like how this space turned out. It's cute, it's cozy, and you know what? It does the job. I would say that this interior is done. So the last thing that I want to do to finish off this build is complete the pathing towards our house. I think it would look really nice if we wound it through these trees so it's like you're walking through a little forest. And we'll just connect it up to the house right here. I love that you can only see parts of the outpost as you're walking through the trees, and the rest slowly gets revealed as you get closer. This is a really picky detail, but I'm just gonna get rid of this oak tree really quickly. It was a little bit too close to our path, which made it kind of hard to see our outpost as we got closer to it. I do, however, like having a tree along this path, so I'm just gonna plant one a little bit further away though. Oh yeah, that's much better. It's more of a clear line of sight, so you're still surrounded by trees when you're walking towards the mining outpost. And it's still slowly being revealed, but right when you hit this corner, it's no longer blocked, which looks awesome. I'm really happy with it. So I would say for the most part, this mining outpost is pretty much done. I think eventually what I'm gonna do is also add in some pathing going out this way as well, but I think I'm gonna do that once we expand our farmland a little bit more. Because as of right now, it's just gonna lead into nowhere. Yeah, I'm so happy with how this turned out. So going forward, we not only have an easy place to collect things like diamonds, but we also have a place to upgrade our tools. So I think this is a really big addition to our base that's gonna go a long way. Alright everyone, I think that's gonna be it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing because it really helps out the channel. I hope you all enjoyed the build we did today and the adventures we went on, and I'll see you all in the next one.